Our next speaker will be Ricardo Martins, telling us about 8 mistakes or common mistakes that service designers make. Ricardo Martins is our honorary guest today. He's the only one not located in the DMV. He is a service design faculty at SCAD in Savannah, Georgia, and works with design and innovation for 26 years. He's passionate about service design implementation challenges and researching strategies to improve innovation processes. And so this is the title slide. Let me get Ricardo unmuted because that's important. All righty, are you ready to go?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, you're off.
So many organizations use service designers to discover and deliver value to their customers because they take more risks, explore emotions, and are innovative. However, service design is not a bed of roses. Why? Let's see 8 reasons. The first one is ignoring important stakeholders. In our research, it's common to disregard the opinion and behavior of important stakeholders, such as employees, for example. Some researchers worry too much about end users of a system, forgetting those who provide care of or provide operational support. In a restaurant, this mistake would mean caring only about customers, but not taking into account waiters, cooks, receptionists, managers, among others. And this type of error is more common with inexperienced designers who do not understand the importance that other stakeholders have in the success of the project. The second mistake is to ignore conflicts of interest and power struggles. The service design makes changes that do not always serve the interests of all people. Some people will boycott the project because they do not want to lose power and they think it's better to stay in the comfort zone. And boycotters are not easy to detect because they don't admit that they don't like the new service or system proposed by the service designers. In front of you, they will congratulate you, pat you on the back, and make you think that implementation will be just a matter of time. The third mistake is to misuse desk research. During the contextual research, usually it's necessary to know the elements that compose the system that's being studied. The problem lies in the fact that many designers look for data in unreliable sources. Many of these studies have problems such as inappropriate sample size, incorrect statistical analysis, or biased questionnaires. Many of the survey results may have defects like false positive, false negative, among others. And the mistake number 4 is to blindly trusting what interviews say. Some amateur researchers make the mistake of finding that a person's statement can be taken literally, but unfortunately, people lie. What people answer in surveys usually express their attitude, not their real behavior, and attitude is only 27%. And people usually have 2 discourses, one real and another declared. And a suspecting interviewer may innocently believe in all things people say. In this case, it's important to interview more people or even use social experiments to put people to the test. Their behavior is not And the mistake number 5 is go straight to ideas. This is a very common mistake. After generating a list of insights, describing the pain points, many service designers go straight to the ideation stage. This can be even worse. In some hackathons, they ignore even the basic research. However, every design problem is symptomatic of another problem. It's appropriate that before attempting to go out looking for solutions, a root cause analysis should be done. You should never generate ideas without framing the problem first. And the mistake number 6 is co-creating with uninformed users. To engage users in the process of finding solutions is an important design activity. We call this co-creation or co-participation. Usually designers invite people from different backgrounds to contribute with solutions. But although this often seems like a good idea, engaging people with limited view of the problem can mess up more than help. People need to have enough information to make good decisions. The participation of a co-creation session does not make people skilled at proposing solutions. The seventh mistake is to prioritize solutions with a small sample size. When the ideation stage ends, a list with many ideas comes up. However, as important as creating service solutions is to check which of them are the most appropriate. Without prioritization, the organization runs the risk of selecting a service solution that do not meet the market expectations. But if you want to decide what's the best solution, you must use quantitative research and the right sample size. The opinion of 5 people in a room is not enough. Mistake number 8 is to consider the word as if it were static. In their plans, service designers think the word is static and they will stand still, waiting for the implementation. To stand still means stopping the environment that surrounds the organization. According to this view, the organization's employees will always be the same, no manager will be fired, laws and regulation will not change, the climate will have no surprises, suppliers will do nothing unpredictable. That is, it's a fairy tale world where everything works out. Whether it's researching, analyzing, creating, or implementing ideas, it's crucial to pay attention to the pitfalls that can undermine the success of the service innovation process. The first step to avoid these dangers is to be aware of them. How can we avoid these mistakes? First, involve irrelevant stakeholders, not only users. Detect boycotters, analyzing how your project will change the power of people. Don't trust desk research too fast. Listen to behavior instead of believing only in opinion. Find the root cause before going to solution. Make co-creation with informed participants. Use quantitative research to prioritize. And remember, the world is not static and will change during your implementation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was just gonna, before we open up the questions to everyone else, I had one question that I had just from looking at it. If you were to say, oh, first of all, we got some claps and snaps in the audience, I see. If you were to pick one that you think is like the most critical, the most important to get right of these 8, which one would you ask us all to focus on?
Is to ignore the power struggles and conflicts of interest, because sometimes designers think that they have a naive vision about the world. They think that everybody are like a kindergarten, a lot of children that reunite together. Hey, let's do this, let's have fun. And they think that people don't have interest, that there is no boycotters, no jealous people, and things like that.
Great, thank you. All right, so we have some questions now coming in through the chat. Carl would like to know, how do you co-create with unknown boycotters?
Excellent question. First of all, you need to find who are these people. As you saw in the picture, these boycotters don't have a label in the front head, so it's not possible to identify them at first sight. But it's possible to know who have a high probability of becoming a boycotter if you map who will lose power. If you change some roles in the organization and you see that people will lose power, you can be completely sure that there is a high chance, a high risk of these people becoming boycotters, and you need to map and you need to involve them to bring inside the project.
Thank you. Ginny was curious, where did the attitude being 27% of behavior stat come from? And was kind of curious if they could look into that more or learn more.
Yes, I don't have the research right now, but I can send you after. This is based on other research about social experiments. Because when you ask for the opinion of people, usually they say what they could do about something, but it's very different about putting them to the test and see the real behavior. And usually the reasons why people say something and do another thing, we have a lot of studies about this, especially from Chris Argyris from Harvard University that studied the difference between espoused theory and use. We have also the works from Albert Simon and bounded rationality from Kahneman and in the book Fast and Slow that talks about behavioral economics and so on.
And then last question, I think. Carolina is wondering, how do you listen to behavior?
You need to make people work and do what you want. For example, you want to check what would be the preference for a service. You need to make people make a choice, but not to give their opinion about what could be the best service. For example, there is a very interesting technique named conjoint analysis, and it's possible to make people do this kind of choices, but they don't know that you are testing the preference. It's like you put some confounding factors and people must choose between pairs of options and you are changing the combinations. And in the end, you do a statistical analysis and you find what is the best and most prevalent option. And we teach conjoint analysis in Savannah College.
Well, we actually have 20 more seconds, so I'll let the last question come through. Karina was wondering, when do you feel like your root cause analysis and research is sufficient to move towards solution building?
Yes, first of all, you must to make it reasonable. Using abductive reasoning, it's possible to find this solution. So you don't use inductive or deductive, you use abductive. It's a third different, and it's very hard to explain so many information in a few seconds, but you can write me an email. I will put in the chat, okay?
Great, thank you so much.